This video is showing a customized numbering tool. The tool has two ways of positioning: an initial, that's deleting all existing position data and is starting from the scratch, and an additional that is using existing numbers for identical groups in the process. The tool has only settings for the group numbers. It allows to select the group types that are used as group names in the client's projects that should get included in the positioning process, and also their sequence, and also if identical groups of a type should get unique numbers, or the same position number if they should share a number, or if the tool should ask in the process what to do with a part. The tool also allows to use reference parts that are typical parts that the client uses in all his projects. And these parts are stored in folders. Here they are in localized English template parts, reference parts that get selected. And it's always a group that is in one drawing. The group is positioned. The tool is including these groups in the numbering process and allocates the numbers of the reference groups to identical groups in the model. Here, these groups always have a group number that starts with an A followed by 4 digits, like A3010. We see that in here kick plates and gratings should get equal position numbers, so we will have a look at that later. I will make an initial positioning now. All I have to do is I have to select a start number. I will do that, 3501, and I will select only the first of 3 identical platforms to be able to show the result of the additional positioning later. You saw that the grid of the gratings gets turned on for the process. That's to avoid the errors that can occur because the surface is not included in the process, the surface that defines the top and the bottom side of a grating. The tool is also setting the display of all parts to aces for the process temporarily to increase the accuracy of the process. We have the result of the single part positioning here. Some indices got an X added. These are the indices that refer to reference parts, the parts from the library. We say OK to continue. The subgroups and the groups. You also saw that the grid got turned on and off. In the group result, we also have some entries with the X added. Also, these are the reference groups that get used. I will show the result of the numbering now using the model browser. I have to hide the groups that I did not select in the initial process. And now we make the update of the model browser and we see the result of the numbering. We have this typical parts here first listed, and then the normal parts starting with the handrails. We have 2 types of handrails that have a regular number and handrails that have a standard part number. Standard parts are parts that are of a certain standard. Here they are straight handrails, and the client is using system drawings for the production data of these standard parts. A system drawing always consists of a sketch of the part, of a standard part, and a table that holds the production data. So here all standard straight handrails have the base position number 3510 followed by an index, and the index will be the index of the part in the table. We have the standard parts here L-shaped with another base number. Then we have regular kick plates, standard kick plates, straight kick plates, we have standard gratings, and then we have the supports and the frames. I will make an additional positioning right away. I have to regenerate the model to have all platforms available. There is no setting of a start number necessary now because the tool is analyzing the existing group number range and is only adding numbers at the end. So there's no reuse of numbers, there is no filling of gaps. I have to select all parts now. Again, the grids get turned on. Parts are set to aces. We have the result of the single part numbering, the entries with the X, the entries of the reference library, subgroups and groups. And I will use the model browser again to show the result of the numbering. Update. And I will uncheck the zoom so we see that we have parts of all platforms positioned. We have the gratings of the first platform here. We see that the standard part gratings of the second and third platform got added here at the end. Always pairs of identical handrails. I'll show that. It's easier to show if I zoom. We see, so these is a pair, or these are pairs that got added. We have, for the kick plates, we got equal numbers, the 3 regular kick plates, and then the identical standard kick plates here. And after the frames of the original numbering, we have the new handrails, the position numbers added that are needed for the additional positioning process. And here we have the pairs of regular handrails and supports, etc. If we look at supports, we see that the single part position numbers of all groups start with 1. And we'll check a part. The part itself, it has a regular single part position number. Here it's the main part, so it's in the first range, in the 1000 range. And if we look at a subpart here, oops, sorry, we see that we have 10,068, the pro steel number, and the ship number is 2. So what the tool does is it's making regular pro steel numbering for the single parts, and when that's done, it's creating a range of ship numbers for each group that always starts with 1 for the main part and followed by the subparts. The reason is that the client is generating one detailed drawing per group, and the single parts of a group always have to be on that detailed drawing, have to be included. The reason is possible reuse of parts in other projects. If we look at the group properties of this support, for instance, we see that we have additional entries in node 2 and in the ship number field. Here the ship number field is identical to the group position number, which means that this is the so-called parent group, and in the node 2 of a parent group there are the first entry is the parent group itself, and then the children are listed, the groups that are identical to the parent group. If we look at 3559 now, we should see that it has the ship number entry 3519. We'll do that. Look for 3559, should be somewhere at the end. 3559, 5659 here. If we look, we have 3519 as the parent. The reason is that the detailer should know which group is a parent group and create the detailed drawing for this group, and then just copy the detailed drawing of the parent group for the children and edit the necessary data title field. That's all. The single part position numbers are correct. So This was a customized numbering tool. You will find videos for other tools that we made on our webpage. There's also contact information in case you like to get in touch with us.